Hello and welcome to today's Jigsaw training, which is the first of a set of 3 webinars, and today's one is entitled Learn How Personal Development is Judged During an Ofsted Inspection. Today's training will ensure understanding of what personal development is and where PSHE fits within the Ofsted framework. We will also explore the strands of SMSC and why this is at the heart of school development. We will develop understanding of schools' obligation to teach statutory RSHE and the Jigsaw curriculum, how it meets it. So a little bit about me, your trainer today. My name's Hayley Allen and I've got 25 years as a primary school teacher, and I'm currently EYFS leader in a large primary school. I'm also PSHE and RE subject lead, and I'm a specialist leader of education in SMSC, working in a large multi-academy trust supporting subject leaders. I've also worked in the past with both ACT and DEED on global citizenship projects, and I've consulted with Jigsaw Education since 2012 on both PSHE and RE. So hopefully today in today's training I can bring a wealth of knowledge and experience. So before we begin, a little look at the terminology. There are many different acronyms for this area of the curriculum, and for the purpose of this training we will use PSHE and RSE, so Personal, Social, Health and Economic Education, and RSE, Relationship, Sex Education, with relationships, health and sex education being the statutory elements of PSHE as a whole. So a little look at why personal development matters. So personal, social, health and economic education is an important and necessary part of all pupils' education. PSHE is a non-statutory subject, but to allow teachers the flexibility to deliver high-quality PSHE, the Department for Education consider it unnecessary to provide new standardised frameworks or programmes of study. PSHE can encompass many areas of study. However, while the DFE believe that it is for schools to tailor their local PSHE programme to reflect the needs of their pupils, schools are expected to use their own PSHE education programme for 2 main areas. Firstly, to equip pupils with a sound understanding of risk and with the knowledge and skills necessary to make safe and informed decisions, and to know how to be safe and healthy and how to manage their children's academic, personal and social lives in a positive way. So this is a really useful image on this slide, which Jigsaw has adapted from an original Ofsted training slide, which was entitled The School Bag of Personal Development. So here, PSHE as a concept has never been precisely defined, and as a result, what it encompasses varies from school to school. However, what we do know is RSHE is of critical importance and is statutory. An individual element of personal development can be focused on, but cannot be evaluated without consideration of how it overlaps with and interacts with other elements. So the RSHE sandwich in the top will take up a considerable amount of the lunchbox, about 80% of your broader PSHE curriculum, but not all. This sandwich goes into the lunchbox of PSHE, but most schools will provide other elements which are seen as good practice. However, there is no guidance as to what the other elements should be, only the RSHE sandwich, which comprises of relationship education, sex education, physical health, mental well-being. All the other elements on this slide make up personal development, which is really personal development in a nutshell. Some elements are more about taught content, other parts are about the culture of the school, the vision and the values. Coverage is crucial, but is not sufficient in itself. It is the quality of coverage that makes the difference. Inspectors will look across the elements of a school's personal development programme to draw conclusions. So if we look here, we have other elements of PSHE in the apple, the wider safety, economic understanding, understanding of technology and media, and other miscellaneous elements. Underneath this you have citizenship, development of character, competence and resilience, wider opportunities, British values, inclusion and equality of opportunity. Underneath this you have careers, education, advice and guidance, and then spiritual, moral, social and cultural development. So the PSHE curriculum and personal development are not one and the same, and this can lead to a blurring between the planned taught curriculum and pastoral elements of whole school life, such as extracurricular activities, pupils' SMSC development, and so on. The curriculum provided by schools should extend beyond the academic, technical or vocational. Schools should support pupils to develop in many diverse aspects of life. The personal development judgment is used by inspectors to evaluate leaders, including trust leaders, intent to provide for the personal development of all pupils and the quality with which the school implements this work. This is laid out in the School Inspection Handbook, paragraph 323. So to what extent is the curriculum going beyond the academic, vocational, providing effectively for personal development, and is SMSC within schools of high quality? Is the approach to personal development reflected in your school's culture? We encourage schools to embrace the whole Jigsaw programme, as our impact studies, Does Jigsaw Work, clearly show the positive impact on children, behaviour, school ethos, empathy, relationships and learning capacity, which happens more quickly with a whole school approach embedded. We are proud to say that Jigsaw, the mindful approach to PSHE health and wellbeing, fulfills all the requirements for the statutory relationship and health education curriculum, as announced by the DfE in England in 2019 and implemented from September 2020. Jigsaw goes even further than this and provides a spiral and progressive, comprehensive programme in which the statutory elements sit and are embraced. We also guarantee that it will be updated whenever and new guidance is released in the future, so you can be assured compliance is always maintained. Within Jigsaw there are detailed RSHE overview grids which show how the lessons contribute to each of the statutory RSHE outcomes for England across all 6 Jigsaw puzzles aged 5 to 11. There are also further RSHE specific focus session videos in the optimised training library within the community section on the portal to explain how you can further implement this aspects of the curriculum. So with SMSC, English schools have a duty to promote the spiritual, moral, social and cultural development of their pupils, including understanding of British values. SMSC development is evaluated as part of the personal development judgment. So SMSC development is the overarching umbrella that encompasses personal development across the whole curriculum, not just within PSHE. SMSC development is evaluated as part of the personal development judgment. Ofsted continue to put SMSC at the heart of school development. It requires schools to think about the kind of people we aspire to be, the kind of world we aspire to create, and the kind of education we aspire to provide. So a breakdown of SMSC. So with the spiritual development of pupils is shown by their ability to be reflective about their own beliefs, religious or otherwise, and perspective on life, a knowledge of and respect for different people's faiths, feelings and values, a sense of enjoyment and fascination in learning about themselves, others and the world around them, a use of imagination and creativity in their learning, and a willingness to reflect on their experiences. This is the spiritual development. So the moral development of pupils is shown by their ability to recognise the difference between right and wrong and to readily apply this understanding in their own lives, recognise legal boundaries and in so doing respect the civil and criminal law of England, understanding the consequences of their behaviour and actions, and an interest in investigating and offering reasoned views about moral and ethical issues and the ability to understand and appreciate the viewpoints of others in these issues. The social development of pupils is shown by their use of a range of social skills in different contexts, for example, working and socialising with other pupils, including those from different religious, ethnic and socio-economic backgrounds, and a willingness to participate in a variety of communities and social settings, including by volunteering, cooperating well with others and being able to resolve conflicts effectively. Following on from this, still within the social development strand, there is also an acceptance and engagement with the fundamental British values of democracy, the rule of law, individual liberty and mutual respect, and tolerance of those with different faiths and beliefs. They develop and demonstrate skills and attitudes that will allow them to participate fully in and contribute positively to life in modern Britain. The cultural development of pupils is shown by their understanding and appreciation of the wide range of cultural influences that have shaped their own heritage and that of others. An understanding and appreciation of the range of different cultures in the school and further afield as an essential element of their preparation for life in modern Britain, and an ability to recognise and value the things we share in common across cultural, religious, ethnic and socio-economic communities. Further on from this for cultural development, pupils will show a knowledge of Britain's democratic parliamentary system and its central role in shaping our history and values and in continuing to develop Britain, a willingness to participate in and respond positively to artistic, musical, sporting and cultural opportunities, and an interest in exploring, improving, understanding of and showing respect for different faiths and cultural diversity, and the extent to which they understand, accept and respect diversity. This is shown by their respect and attitudes towards different religious, ethnic and socio-economic groups in the local, national and global communities. So with Jigsaw's approach, Jigsaw is more than a PSHE scheme of work. It provides a structured programme of personal development to nurture the whole child and increase learning capacity underpinned by mindfulness philosophy and practice. Every Jigsaw lesson from early years to upper primary offers opportunities for children's spiritual, moral, social and cultural development, and this is clearly mapped and balanced across each year group. Every piece or lesson contributes to at least one of these aspects of children's SMSC development. And there is SMSC grids which give a quick visual reference and summary of where these opportunities sit within Jigsaw. These can be found on the portal. So when accessing the portal, you've got to use the community area and you will find these useful tabs. If you go into within the mapping documents, you will find SMSC and Emotional Literacy tab and a helpful document entitled SMSC and Emotional Literacy Domains in Jigsaw. Jigsaw provides a structured programme of personal development to nurture the whole child, and this can be found within this article. And here is a snapshot really of the mapping document within this article. Every Jigsaw lesson from early years to upper primary offers opportunities for children's spiritual, moral, social and cultural development. And as I said, this is clearly mapped and balanced across each year group. Likewise, Jigsaw is designed to provide structured opportunities in every lesson to practice and enhance the 5 skills associated with the emotional literacy, self-awareness, social skills, empathy, motivation and managing feelings. At Jigsaw, we believe these opportunities are vital for children's development, their understanding of themselves and others, and increasing their capacity to learn. The mapping documents, as seen here, provide a quick visual reference and a summary of where these opportunities are within Jigsaw. How would children and their learning benefit if they could be aware of their thoughts and feelings as they happen, in the present moment, on purpose and with no judgment, This is what mindfulness means. Health education in Jigsaw embraces not only physical health, but has a strong focus on mental health and emotional literacy throughout, empowering children to be aware of their own thoughts and feelings and know how to manage and regulate these. In Jigsaw, the mindful approach to PSHE, mindfulness is developed in 3 ways. Through the calm me time in each piece, this consists of breathing techniques, awareness exercises and visualizations, enabling children not to empty their minds but to quiet them and become aware of the activity within them and manage it positively. Secondly, through the taught curriculum, through the lessons or pieces which help children to explore their thoughts and feelings, to expand their emotional vocabulary, explore thoughts, feelings, consequence sequences, and build their confidence and express themselves in a safe environment. And then finally, through the pause points in lessons, which ask children to stop and look inside with Jerrycat to practice observing their thoughts and feelings relating to what they are learning about in that lesson. Were you aware that Jigsaw has a set of optional lesson plans which enhance the taught PSHE curriculum? These lesson plans cover topics to further equip pupils with a sound understanding of risk and with the knowledge and skills necessary to make safe and informed decisions. Jigsaw PSHE is a universal programme with content that is relevant and important for all children in our primary schools as they grow and learn about themselves and the world around them. Jigsaw Education Group is eager to meet the needs of all children, and we understand that not all issues are relevant to every school community. We recognise that from time to time your school may need additional high-quality teaching materials that you can use to supplement the existing Jigsaw content. Here you can find a range of additional optional lessons that either introduce new additional topics to the existing materials or extend the current provision to give your pupils the opportunity for further exploration of existing ones. All of these lessons can be slotted into the Jigsaw programme as you see fit across the year, or used as additional lessons on top of the existing lessons, for example in themed curriculum weeks. You can see the available topics from these tiles, which can be found within the materials area of the Jigsaw portal. Some examples of these are lessons on firework safety, water and road safety, sun safety. They're really, really useful, and as I said, they are standard lessons, but you can also differentiate them across whichever year group you are teaching. When inspecting the elements of personal development, inspectors focus on the intent and quality of its provision. They will also consider how well pupils have remembered what they have been taught, and the contribution that personal development is making to pupils' behaviour and attitudes. It's also worth noting that personal development evidence can be used to support the judgment of the quality of education. Inspectors will recognise the impact of the school's provision for personal development will often not be accessible during pupils' time at school. Therefore, inspectors won't try to measure the impact of your provision on individual pupils, but rather look at personal development as a whole and how it is embedded in your school culture. This has been taken from the Inspection Handbook, paragraphs 325 and 340, about looking what inspectors will check will be happening within school during the Ofsted visit. There are 4 areas. The first one we'll look at is developing. Ofsted inspectors will check whether you are developing responsible, respectful and active citizens who are able to play their part and become actively involved in public life as adults. Whether you are developing pupils' understanding of the fundamental British values of democracy, individual liberty, the rule of law and mutual respect and tolerance. Also, pupils' character, which Ofsted defines as a set of positive personal traits, dispositions and virtues that informs their motivation and guides their conduct so that they reflect wisely, learn eagerly, behave with integrity and cooperate consistently well with others. Also, pupils' confidence, resilience and knowledge so that they can keep themselves mentally healthy. Pupils' understanding of how to keep physically healthy, eat healthily, and maintain an active lifestyle, including giving ample opportunities for pupils to be active during the school day and through extracurricular activities. Also, pupils' age-appropriate understanding of healthy relationships through appropriate relationships and sex education. If we move on to the next area of promoting, inspectors will check if you are promoting equality of opportunity so that all pupils can thrive together, understanding that difference is a positive and not a negative, and that individual characteristics make people unique. Also, an inclusive environment that meets the needs of all pupils, irrespective of age, disability, gender reassignment, race, religion or belief, sex or sexual orientation. The third part of this is enabling. Ofsted will check that we are enabling pupils to recognise online and offline risks to their well-being, for example, risks from criminal and sexual exploitation, domestic abuse, female genital mutilation, forced marriage, substance misuse, gang activity, radicalisation and extremism, and making them aware of the support available to them. Also looking at supporting pupils in recognising the dangers of inappropriate use of mobile technology and social media. And the last strand is supporting. Ofsted will check that you are supporting pupils in the readiness for the next phase of education, training or employment, so that pupils are equipped to make the transition successfully. So Jigsaw invites you to use your professional creativity to tailor Jigsaw to your children's needs, to enjoy working with it, and to join us in helping children learn well and be healthy and happy, equipped to cope in the world and be aware of its wonder and theirs. There are many different examples of how you could, through your school vision and values, continue to explore the personal development strand, such as your school values, British values, possibly school newsletters where you've got evidence of the wide opportunities that happen, and also things like developing calm spaces within your school where the children can practice their mental well-being and their self-regulation. We've covered a lot today, but we will continue covering more in the second webinar, looking then at other aspects of personal development. So first of all, thank you so much for accessing this webinar, and please watch the next two webinars which follow on from this one. We kindly ask you to please scan the QR code and answer a few survey questions on this training, as your feedback is really important to us. Thank you so much, and I hope you found this training really useful.